Taanit Perik Dalid Mishnah Vav, sixth Mishnah and the fourth and final chapter of Masechet Taanit. So we finally come to, you have the entire Masechet Taanit if you've been with us all this time, and I hope you have. The first three chapters talked about Taaniot for rain, but we don't have nowadays. We don't have these Ma'amadot, for rain. We don't really see those things. And then we talked about the Anshe Ma'amad, all of it, we talked a little bit in the beginning about when we say Mashiv Ruach, but the vast majority Masechet Taanit focuses on the Beit HaMikdash. And we finally come to, at the very end of our Mishnah, two Mishnayot that deal with the halachot that are practiced today, which tells us to what degree they were really focused specifically on the halachot referring to the Beit HaMikdash. And that was still, even after the Churban, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi felt it was important to maintain this tradition and understand the focus of the Beit HaMikdash and its relevance and its place among the Bnei Yisrael. And it's something for us to really maintain and have this idea of, especially in the context of Masechet Taanit. Same thing is true, of course, as we're going to see, that all of the calamities that befall the Jewish people, again, surround all of them pretty much, and vast majority of them surround this idea of the Beit HaMikdash. Says the Mishnah, Chamisha dvarim eru'u et avotenu b'shiva asar b'Tammuz, v'chamisha b'tisha b'av. 5 things eru'u et avotenu happened to our forefathers on Shiva Asar b'Tammuz, and 5 things on Tisha B'av. I will say, it's pretty clear, even the Gemara says, not exactly Shiva Asar b'Tammuz, not exactly Tisha B'av. So we have this historical memory, and Chazal, they concretize and they focus this historical memory on specific days of the year, because you're talking about historical developments. So did it exactly happen on that day? It happened as a period, and also through that day. Even nowadays, we have the sense of Tisha B'av. These are difficult times for the Jewish people. Somehow in the summertime, it always comes around that you get nervous around these 3 weeks between Shiva Asar b'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. So I would say that Chazal then tend to focus and say, okay, we're going to commemorate and specify that this day is the day for which we will mark as the day that it happened. Shiva Asar b'Tammuz nishtabru luchot. So tradition tells us that the luchot, Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Mount Har Sinai, and he broke the luchot. When he saw the Jewish people worshipping the golden calf, he broke the luchot. Ubatal hatamid, much later, the Korban Tamid was negated. Because Bartunera says, Lo hayalem kvasim lakriv, sheba ha'ir b'matzor. The city was taken siege, and they didn't have animals to offer, so that they couldn't offer the Korban Tamid, which was a terrible calamity. We just learned how we believe that the Korbanot Tamid, these Korbanot, they were considered the foundation, the fundamental, because of which the merit of the world existed. And when they couldn't bring it, that was a terrible thing. The walls of the city were breached on the 17th of Tammuz. V'saraf apostemos et Torah. Apostemos burned the Torah. So it's interesting. If you look, I looked on, here we are, dot.il. Okay, then he quotes all these things. He says, Saraf apostemos et Torah. And then yodim miwaya. We have no idea who he was. Matai zaya ve'ev zakara. Okay, where and when. We don't know what it was. There are many possibilities, hasharot, estimations. According to one, the Kavanah is Antiochus Apipianas Hachamishi. So it was from the time of Antiochus, because it says in Sefer Chashmonaim, Sifrei Torah shematzu karu v'yisfu be'esh. In the book of the Chashmonaim, they tore and burnt up Sifrei Torah. So then you'd have to explain that Apiano somehow got to be Apustumos, which is very easy to understand. Others say, okay, the Fishara Acheret Karadara B'Kufat Shetana Romaim. It could have been the Roman times, meaning we don't even know which era we're talking about. 100 of years between the Greek era and the Roman era before the Great Revolt. So, nonetheless, we've established that on the 17th day of Av, Saraf Apostamos, whoever this was, the Torah, V'Hamid Tzelem B'Hichal, and he also placed it Tzelem B'Hichal. Again, who was that? We don't really know who it is. It could be Antiochus, as we said, or it could be later on, Adrianus Caesar, etc., etc. Nonetheless, we say that these are terrible things that happened on the 17th day of Av. But Tisha B'Av on the 7th and the 9th of Av, Nigzar Avotenu Shelo Yikansu La'aretz. So it was decreed, if you count the days from, if you count the days when Moshe Rabbeinu, that's not much later. When they went to Eretz Yisrael and they did the Ched HaMeraglim, so they cried that night, and many midrashim, you cried, Atem esitem b'chiyah lechinam, I'll give you something, you cried for nothing, I'll give you something to cry about. Bechi l'dorot. V'charav habayit Rabbi Yishonah. And the Beit HaMikdash, the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. Uba Shniya, the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. V'nilkeda Beitar. Beitar was Nilkad. Beitar was destroyed. And this was during the times of the Bar Kokhba rebellion. It doesn't say, but it was after the Bar Kokhba rebellion when the Romans put down the rebellion. Masechet Taanit, the Hati quotes Masechet Taanit, and it says, Hayuba alafim revot mi Yisrael, many thousands, many 10,000s. Vayelehem melech gadol, and they had a great king. Okay, people thought it was a melech Mashiach. V'nehergu kulam, they were all killed. Vaytat tzara gedola kamo chorban Beit HaMikdash, and it was a great, great tzara. Almost, it was like the Chorban Beit HaMikdash. The Jewish people, our future was destroyed. That was the last hope of the future when the married Bar Kokhba was put down. Many, many, many thousands of citizens, men, women, children were killed. And the city was plowed over. The city of Yerushalayim was plowed over. Therefore, says the Mishnah, this is the only halacha we have about this is called the 9 days. When Av begins, when the month of Av begins, mima'atim, we minimize our joy. We start doing less things. So we're going to see the halachot of Tisha B'Av in the next Mishnah, but it's interesting that there is no halachot of 3 weeks. The halachot of 3 weeks are all based on minhag. But according to the Mishnah, the mourning or the lessening of joy begins only from the first of Av. Stop here. Dedicated to learning the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.